As natural disasters continue to pound South America, it is now being demonstrated that indigenous communities and Afro South American communities are the ones who are most affected by these disasters. On Monday, Hurricane Oda hit Nicaragua. It was a Category 4, and this was just 2 weeks after Hurricane Ida devastated communities across the region, including killing 140 people as well as leaving hundreds of thousands homeless. So this really is this South America, particularly in this case, Nicaragua, has suffered a terrible amount of devastation. Hurricane Ida, which impacted more than 3 million people, displaced hundreds of thousands of people in Guatemala. So it's by no means limited to just simply Nicaragua, but South America in general. Now, this has been shown to damage, obviously, the most vulnerable populations, which tend to be the indigenous people and Afro descendants of black communities across Central America. I mean, that's pretty usual for things like this, that the most marginalized people are the ones who suffer the most for the choices. As you'll see in this video, it tends to link more towards climate change and who the driver of climate change is, etc. Now, roads have been destroyed, and this is on top of the already existing coronavirus pandemic that is affecting, well, not just simply, in individual countries, it's across the whole world. So this is already on top of the disasters that are already going on. Now, climate change, no doubt, is the climate crisis is completely attached to the first world consumption patterns primarily and all that. Now, a lot of the ideas about how to move to a sustainable economy through capitalism aren't really working out that well. And they tend to be doing more harm than actually good. Now, the thing is, with this, a lot of the hydroelectric plants that are being touted as forms of green energy, which they are, don't get me wrong, the problem is that when you look at the individual isolated placements of these hydro dams, you see there's a very large amount of damage that's being done to the local communities and the environment in the area as well. A lot of these dams, these mega projects, are causing a significant amount of environmental damage. Now, one of the other things is that a lot of the countries have been complaining that they take the really high interest loans from the international banks, which they have to take because there is no alternative. Then they build up whatever infrastructure, then the hurricanes come by, destroy it, and then they have to take out another high interest loan to rebuild and get back to the way things were. And they're noticing that this is becoming a cycle of perpetual debt. So basically, you've got the system placing them into poverty through debt and then causing the environmental catastrophes on top of it, forcing them into even greater debt. So this becomes an impossible to break cycle because they can't choose. They have to go with the global capitalist system because they have no choice, and they don't have the power to stop global warming from happening. So you could see what kind of a very terrible mess this is in. And this is causing a lot of people in, say, Guatemala to leave. Now, a lot of the caravans are people from Guatemala. Now, what's not talked about in the mainstream media, for reasons that should be obvious, is what is actually causing people to leave. Now, CNN, MSNBC will tell you it's because of the poverty in the country, but you notice they don't generally talk about what is actually causing that poverty. And that's pretty much this. It has to do with structural violence and community leaders who are persecuted for their activism against the mega projects. They see, well, when the dam comes in, it contaminates the water. Other programs damage the environment. And so they stand up saying, no, we don't want that here because this is so much of the damage that's being caused. And they end up getting persecuted. And when villages and towns and cities say that they don't want a mega project there, they end up getting attacked by those particular governments for their activism. So Guatemala really has to improve the social situation there in dealing with these larger environmental issues. And that's causing a lot of change because you end up getting union activists that are being killed, environmental activists that are being killed, whole towns and villages getting persecuted, so they end up leaving as a result of that. Now, it's about in a Cortzal, about 37% of the population has access to electricity. So even when these dams come in and they provide electricity, not much of the local population even gets to use that electricity because of the poverty. They keep saying this is building up infrastructure. This is going to help third world people. It's going to have them come in and they're going to get access to resources they never had before. Only 37% of them have access to that electricity that they're generating. And they're the people that work there. The other ones are having their environments destroyed. And they're still not getting the benefits of it. Because, of course, again, this is all being done under a capitalist system, something that's being run for profit, not for actual human need. So you've got a Palo Viejo hydroelectric dam. Palo Viejo hydroelectric dam, which generates about $300 million to $400 million in profits. It leaves less than $300,000 to the municipality in which it exists, which is less than 1%. So despite this claim, oh, it's really great for the local community because it brings in money and then it creates jobs. 1% of the profits are going to the local area. So we can see that this is a huge problem. So you've got environmental catastrophe being pushed by capitalism. The parasitic, vampiric loans that are being pushed by capitalism, and then not even helping the people that they claim that they're going to help being caused by capitalism. It's strange. It's almost like capitalism is not helping the situation at all. And that you really do need a real alternative to this. And that alternative would be socialism. I mean, easier said than done, but I think you know what I mean.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.